Welcome to Opinions Like Ales, everybody, your favorite pop culture podcast where we have opinions and most of them stink. My name is Michael Zampino. With me, as always, is Hilton Price.
Oddly energized about world news this morning.
I love that.
Not some dumb, self-absorbed shit like normal.
Yeah, it's usually me that's the one that's absorbed
You're
by
the
news.
newsboy,
I'm
but no.
newsboy.
Since I
and I didn't even work in the news.
No, but once I left, I was news blackout. But no, armed militants, a private military group, doing a coup in Russia.
Yeah.
Trying to take over the Russian government. Putin already losing a 16-month war in Ukraine.
Special military operation, okay? Respect what RT told us, the language he used.
The loser does not get to decide. And let's be very clear, Vladimir
losing.
Putin, huge loser.
Yeah.
Loser.
Shirtless bitch.
Yeah, really, and just crap physique. As someone who has spent time with a lot of shirtless men,
Dude
I got to be
thinks he's
honest,
ripped,
Vlad,
too.
you look like shit.
Yeah, you got a mad dad bod.
Yeah, not even a good dad bod. And I can be a dad bod
Bad
guy.
dad bod.
Bad dad bod. Bad bod.
You're a bad dad, too, I'm sure.
But I guess...
Does he have children? I hope not.
Who cares? But here's the thing: a military incursion in Russia during Pride Month is about as close to Stonewall as Russia's ever going to get. So I just want to say to the Russian people, Happy Pride!
Happy Pride, everybody!
Happy Pride!
До свидания.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that goodbye?
I don't know. It means Happy Pride, as far as I'm concerned.
Sounded good.
Thank you, Jacob. That's our guest, everybody. Please welcome my very good friend and my old drummer, Jacob Campos, everybody.
How's it going?
It's good, man. It's good to see you. It's been too long.
Was
Way
he
too
your
long.
drummer or were you his guitarist? Because I'm best.
Both.
Okay, yeah.
It was a yin and yang sort of thing.
No,
Yeah,
I like that.
blended.
Yeah.
Get right up on
We're
that
fluid.
mic, baby.
We're very fluid.
Yeah,
So better.
absolutely. There we go. I'm gonna give you a little boost. Yeah, what do you think about the Russia sitch?
Oh man, I think it's kind of one of the situation. What goes around comes around.
Here's my weird part. Like, I have a weird thing where it's like I'm pretty pumped about what this guy is doing right now. Like, just objectively, it's the potential for it maybe stopping Vladimir Putin doing what he's doing is objectively rad.
Exactly.
However, this guy, not a good dude.
Awful. Yeah.
So how do you like balance being like, I'm kind of rooting for this guy, but he also is very bad. But
It's a right now it is an enemy of an enemy is my friend situation.
yeah, exactly. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Putin, let's not mince words here. Putin is an awful human and
War
he is,
criminal.
Exactly, and a true scum of the earth. And to have his reign be threatened on the surface is good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Could we end up dealing with other fresh problems? Well, history says yes.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Vladimir Putin was the fresh new problem 20 whatever years ago, 21, 23 years ago.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It's not like trouble with Russia started in 2002.
When
No, it was-
Putin came around.
Yeah, no, it's but if my big thing right now is hopefully an end or a road to an end of the conflict in Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly. My biggest point was like, when you've got two bad guys going at each other, it's still not great, but the sort of silver lining is that if that faction and the Russian faction are fighting each other in Russia, they're not fighting anybody in Ukraine.
Exactly.
And
Absolutely.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Is get them the fuck out of Ukraine because they had no business being in there in the first place. And that's the thing that like kind of got me on this dude's side was that he, went on Telegram and was like, he lied to you about why you're there. And those folks need to hear that shit.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is going back to what I said is right now our goals are aligned.
Absolutely.
America and this military leader.
Yeah, whatever. I cannot remember his fucking name.
It's like prognosticator. I don't fucking know. It's something.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds Russian.
It's not Brezhnev.
It's not. It's
But
not. It's not Brezhnev.
no, it's,
Brezhnev's still dead. After
Russia's
all
still
these
very
years.
dead. Still
Russian
very
state
dead.
TV is going nuts right now. They're interrupting their broadcast saying hey, what he's saying isn't true. This isn't accurate. And so they're freaking out.
Well, and that's been the thing in Russia always, but especially since the start of the Ukraine war, is the propaganda, the information manipulation has been strong. But in the era of social media, in the era of TikTok, in the era of the internet, you don't get to have that level of control anymore unless you're enacting some strong safeguards.
That's how I always.
And Russia doesn't have them in place. So, so the truth about soldiers, defecting,
yes,
has been shown. The truth about people protesting what is being done with the draft has been shown. The fact that not everyone has been supporting Putin has been shown throughout the last 16 months.
The purposeful civilian casualties.
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that they were killing civilians on purpose.
The atrocities across the board.
The crimes against humanity. This is like the same level of. This is like I always wonder how. Because like you said, it's 2023 with so much technology, with social media. It's a wonder how something like Scientology can manage to keep their people from seeing all the terrible things about who they are. And it's like, you're looking at that, but for an entire fucking country. And that's bananas.
Well, it's that same perspective of like whenever you're in religion, like to where you're completely like, you can hear all the facts around you saying like, hey, this, and that, and you're not going to hear it. You're just going to be like, no, I knew you were going to come and try to dispel me and for that. And you know, come at me and try to shake my faith.
Right.
And that is the last tool that the Russian government has right now is pushing that do not trust your eyes, do not trust your ears narrative.
Any speaking of the truth is seen as like you said in religion, like a bigoted attack. Like, oh, you can't tell me how it actually is because that's you attacking my religion. And it's like, not the same.
Yeah.
One of those things, it can happen. You can attack a religion, just but that's not the same thing. But it's showing you what Putin did. It's not lying about Russia,
right?
Tricks to be dismissive of information are a dangerous technique used in the way of fighting truth. And it's tough too, because knowing when you can dismiss information is also how you get to truth. By knowing what is not relevant is how you cut out the noise and get to the honest information. But it is especially now in the age of, and I feel like I'm using the word to death, but misinformation, where it is as dangerous as ever. And I see it in some of the political arguments I find myself in on social media, where I'll present a verified source and
a provable fact,
and it is dismissed. But then a beat later, I'm dismissing some nonsense propaganda, and I'm like, well, I see it, but I recognize that you probably see the opposite, even though I know what is truth, and it is a fucked up situation.
Putin kind of got that David Miscavige little man syndrome too, huh?
Oh yeah. He got the big.
He's like short as fuck, right?
He's a tiny little.
That's
nothing.
what I thought.
Yeah, like a tiny little nothing.
He's on milk crates when we don't see his feet.
I'm not as a short guy. Like I'm not one that wants to sit here and like belittle people for their height.
I'm 5'7" on my best day if I'm standing as straight as I can.
But Jesus, Vlad, you're puny. Come on.
Yeah, man. Just like be cool with being short. I'm cool with being short. I make jokes about it. When I'm at the grocery store and I can't reach shit, I'll wait for a stranger that's taller to come by and I'll go, help me. I'm little.
We watch to skip ahead to our third trailer today and get back into the pop culture
Let's do that
is our
part.
milieu.
Let's go.
Ooh, I love that word.
We are French now. We are a French podcast. We're not.
Sacre bleu.
We do. We have a couple of listeners in French. Bonjour, listeners.
We don't have listeners. We don't have listeners in French. They might be listening in French, but we have listeners from France.
We have listeners from France. Yes,
not from French.
Yeah, from French. They live in French.
Shout out to Trina, our good friend Trina, hanging out over in France.
Yeah, hello Trina. The Super Mario Brothers Wonder, a new
so dope
2D side-scrolling game from Nintendo announced at Nintendo's Nintendo Direct last week. And I bring it up, and we'll get into the game, which looks amazing. But because did you notice that Mario's kind of short and stout?
Yeah.
They definitely
Here's
were kind
my
of
handle. Here's my spout.
Well, the internet has
He is a
immediately
little teapot.
said that Nintendo has returned him to his and I quote, short king status.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that Nintendo is, or the public is kind of celebrating that.
Yeah, that like when Mario doesn't have a mushroom, he's a whittle bitty boy.
Well, and he's kind of got a little like width to him. Girth,
Yeah, a little girth.
Yeah.
Little Girth Brooks.
Putin could really learn something from him.
Really, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, I guess he kind of has embraced his belly by being shirtless all the time, but he's like, trying to pretend he don't have it.
Well, and Putin tries to show strength.
Yeah. Suck it in, bud.
He'll like ride an animal, like thinking that shows strength.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the trailer, we saw Mario just becomes a fucking animal.
Yeah, he does.
He becomes an elephant.
Big ass elephant.
Yeah.
I love it.
Putin's no Mario. That's the really short and
I'd
skinny
love
of
to
it.
see the video where the horse kicks him in his dumb head.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like your short
More
ass on
horses
me.
need to kick Putin.
Absolutely. At least one. I would go for one.
Yeah.
One would be good.
Yeah.
If one horse kicked Putin, that'd be pretty dope.
As long as we get to see it.
Yeah. And if it's not in the head, in the nuts.
Yeah. Kick a Putin horse.
Kick a Putin in the nuts. Oh my God, this is so off the subject, but it just made me think of this. So last night, Becky and I were very high.
Yeah.
And we decided...
As is custom of the time.
That's right. As is customary. And we decided... I don't remember how the context came up, but we talked about, do you remember Dog City?
Do you remember?
Dog City was a one episode of the Jim Henson Hour where they did a spoof of 30s and 40s mobster movies with all dogs, and it was called Dog City. And it's fucking hilarious. It's entirely like dog and mobster puns. It's fucking awesome. But there's a part in it that blew my fucking mind because I've always, for my entire life, wondered why dogs do the weird fucking spin around in a circle before they lay down.
Yeah.
And there's a thing in there where the main character is laying in bed and he goes, I almost forgot. And he gets up and he spins around and he goes, before you lay, spin once around or else you'll end up in the pound. And he's like, and then he gets in bed and he's like, dumb old wives' tale. And I love that so fucking much. And so that rhyme is going to be etched in my brain forever.
That's great.
Before you lay, spin once around or else you'll end up in the pound.
That's cool because that doesn't like change anything we already know about dogs.
Yeah.
It just kind of adds a layer to
Add
it.
to the lore. Because now they have old wives' tales. Or they have old superstitions.
The old dog lore.
Oh, it's so good. And it's on, if you have Amazon Prime, it's on Freevee. You have to watch it with commercials, but it's only like 40-minute runtime. Okay. But it's called Dog City, and it's so fucking worth it. The fucking level of pun use is so good. Rolf is one of the main characters, Avi.
Oh,
he's
cool.
a dog. Yep.
Oh, that's...
He plays the like...
yeah. I was not interested until now.
Until Rolf.
But now that I know that it's a
Once you give me a Rolf, then I'm really on board.
A Rolf spin-off joint, that's now I want to check this out.
There's a part where they get stuck in a bit where he's like, oh, he'll hear about it. Well, what if he doesn't? Oh, he will. What if he doesn't? Oh, he will. And Rolf's like, oh no, looks like the scene's stuck. Let's blaze out of here. It's so good. There were several times where I was like, these are good jokes.
So what was this? The Jim Henson show?
The Jim Henson Hour? I think it was just called the Jim Henson Hour.
I'm not familiar with this at all. Like, I don't remember this.
Oh, man,
I
it was
assume it was all
wild.
just puppet skits. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Except this was the entirety of the hour was this Dog City.
Was the hour always a consistent thing? Or
Don't remember that.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to pull up the wiki. We'll see what we can learn.
Yeah, Jim Henson Hour is a television
NBC.
series in 1989. It was only one season, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
The faux, here we go. The
Wow,
faux
didn't even make
film
it through a whole
noir
season.
Dog City, narrated by Muffet Rolf the dog.
Oh, my God.
Monster Maker, Living with Dinosaurs. Okay, yeah, so it looks like each one was its own thing.
Wow. This
Right?
sounds fantastic.
It's pretty great.
Outer Space, The Heartless
Pretty good.
Giant, Oceans, Lighthouse Island. Yeah. So, and it's on Freevee, which is part of...
It's on Amazon Prime. If you have
Prime.
Prime, you can watch it through there.
Nice.
I think you might be able to get Freevee like on Roku and stuff too.
Yeah. And you got to remember, too, like, Amazon will throw you a free year of Prime sometimes.
Absolutely, they will.
Get on Amazon sometimes, and if you're just using it regularly, occasionally they'll just be like, "Want a year free month or a free year?" And you're like, "Fuck yeah!"
I think we've managed to get like 5 or 6 7-day trials of Showtime
Really?
through Prime.
I've had at least 3 free months of Prime over the years. You know, like it.
We keep doing
semi-regularly.
the try Showtime through Prime, and then we'll just binge something.
Yeah.
Cancel.
And then I'm
I'm
say,
like, how do you guys keep giving us the free thing again? Like,
We'll take it.
yeah, exactly.
You're
but
not learning.
Fool me once, shame on me.
and then my streaming thing now, after the last 2 years, I'm gonna try it again this year. Is Black Friday time? Look for a deal on your streaming services. I got Paramount
to get
Plus.
like a year of service.
I got a year for like half off, like
Yeah.
right on Black Friday week, and I mean that cut my streaming bills down. I did the same thing with PlayStation Plus.
I was just about to say I've never done it because I don't play gaming online enough to need it or for
Yeah.
it to be worth the money. But they always do a deal for PlayStation Plus where I almost do it, and then I realize even with the deal, I'm not going to use it enough.
and I'm going to take next year off because
Yeah.
this year I bought it, and but because of the Switch, I'm not using my PlayStation at
Do you
all.
game much at all?
Man, I did during the pandemic. That's when I really got
for sure.
into it. Other than that,
big
Did you do online much at all? Or
I
you
did.
Just, okay.
I did. I had some friends that gave me a 360 to use. And
Okay.
then my
Nice.
oldest son, we would all kind of team up and do COD and whatnot.
So were you
and
like
Fortnite.
kind of specifically playing with them, or like
Yeah.
did you play with strangers?
Well, we would sometimes pull a third or a fourth,
Okay.
and the whole time just troll them.
Oh,
I
well,
was just more of I wasn't serious about it, and I would piss everybody off.
Now that's a different thing because I was never in a group. I'm always like the one guy that's like if I'm not playing with my friends, I'm the guy that's
Yeah.
like getting trolled on,
Yeah.
shit on, and I'm not good at games unless they're sports games. So
You don't play Call of Duty though, do you? Because you might have been the fourth in one of their groups.
now I have played Call of Duty. Would I willingly play Call of Duty online with people knowing how online gaming is?
Guessing with you.
Absolutely not.
There we go. There we go.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
so bad at it. It would just be me getting shit on nonstop.
Wow.
That's same.
Nonstop. And it would be probably objectively funny for a minute or two, and then my feelings would start to get hurt. Like, at the first, I'd be like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You got me. You're right. I am bad. Yeah. I don't know how to turn around. It's fair. And then after a while, I'd be like, you guys are mean to me.
The shotgun doesn't work at long distance. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Who knew?
So that Super Mario Brothers Wonder looks like it's going to have multiplayer. I did the same thing. That Mario Wonder looks like it's going to have multiplayer, probably in the style of the new Super Mario Brothers games,
Where you
What-
played simultaneously?
simultaneously. What if it does online? Would you do something like that online with strangers?
No.
Even
No.
that.
No. I won't even play basketball with strangers.
And I got.
And I'm good at that game.
I just got Mario Kart for Switch, and I'm thinking about maybe trying some online races because I think that could be fun.
It
I
is
feel
fun,
like if
yeah.
I did, maybe, what if can you do it without talking or hearing them?
I think so. I think you could
Where
definitely do it
you're
without
just-
talking.
Yeah, you can mute them.
Well, I mean, obviously, I could not talk.
Yeah. Well, I've never.
I guess you could just not plug in the headset.
That's the thing is I've never played an online game with a headset. Like I've done a little bit of Fortnite on PS4, a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online, and a little bit of Street Fighter online, and none of those have I talked. I also typically get my ass handed to me, like if there's any competition. But
Yeah, but at least they can't like fucking dip their balls on your head vocally.
actually, one more Rocket League. You ever play Rocket League?
Yeah,
that's a fun game.
All my kids have Switches, so they're always just around. I'll play it. I'm like, who's playing Rocket League? Who's your dad?
Nice.
And then that game, and that one,
That's car soccer, right?
that's car soccer, and you can type messages, and I don't know if you probably can turn it off, but I haven't figured that out. So I do get a lot of like you suck, and you need to be better at this messages whenever I play, which is why I don't play that one much anymore.
You need to be better. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not practicing my video games more. Sorry, I didn't have time for video game practice. I had to go to work.
There's a mentality in competitive gaming where like it's like if you don't have the time to commit, it's like get the fuck off the field.
That's why I'm like, why bother playing online? I feel like, like I'm like, you know what? I'm not on the level to be here right now. So what the fuck am I even doing?
Yeah, there's stuff I don't play online for that reason.
This is a waste of time and just a willing blow to my own self-esteem. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like willingly. If I'm doing that, I'm willingly letting people shit on me and make me feel bad, and I don't want to do that. Who the fuck needs that?
Nah, man,
Don't
for
do that.
sure. Also, I mean, if we're going to be
It
online
looks
that much,
so fucking fun, though. God,
It does.
it does.
It looks so cool. The music. I wanted to briefly talk about the music. One of the things I liked about the last Wii game was the introduction, and I don't know if they've maybe done this on a couple of the Mario games that I missed in the Nintendo era that I didn't have them.
Yeah.
But the introduction of so much more vocal music, and it's not them. It's not necessarily words, but voices doing instrumentation almost.
Yeah.
And I found that really fucking cool.
I think New Super Mario Brothers on the Wii.
That's what I mean.
One that did that.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Because that's the first one I remember ever hearing that. And I like that they've it felt like they expanded it a little bit here. Like there was a little bit more of it, especially in the very beginning of what we watched.
Yeah.
I really liked that music. And I don't know if you caught me saying it, but I said it gave me big Gleeman-X vibes.
Yeah, What is Gleeman-X? That rings a bell, but I
That's
can't
a
remember
deep
from what.
cut from the Kids in the Hall Brain Candy
Is it?
movie. That's
Okay,
the name
yep.
of the drug that they make.
I thought that might have been it.
And there's a lot of music in that movie that's like ha 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 ha. You know that like sort of breathy vocal stuff and I
Need to watch
love
that
it.
again.
It's so good.
I still need to watch Shrek. So we talked about that last week.
You slept with my sister and then you told me about it. Don't shoot the messenger, baby. There's so many good, weird, random quotes in that movie.
Can I have the room, please? My empire's crumbling.
Red Sox. If you have never seen Kids in the Hall Brain Candy, do yourself a favor. It's worth
fun.
a watch. Yeah,
Fun
it's
weirdness.
one where it's just beautifully dumb and silly and fun.
I got a good reminder of some of the best sketches from The State recently. That was another great sketch comedy show. The State
liked
was on
the-
MTV back in the 90s, I want to say, early 90s.
Do you remember the Babysit My Seahorse?
That
sketch?
one I do not.
That's a good one.
Man.
That's a good one.
I was going to say...
Seahorses are they're like people in seahorse costumes, and they come out and they're like being mean and beating up on the babysitter, and then every time the person comes back in because they forgot something, they're all being nice and playing around and stuff. It's really funny.
That's wild. I was about to say that I do remember the sketch with the lizard, but that's actually not a stage sketch. That's a Mr. Show
Mr.
sketch.
Show, yeah. Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas, exactly. Dr. Zayas
Oh,
the
he's
lizard.
just showing off. Yeah.
But new Mario looks good. It looks like it's going to have a lot of really wild ideas that change the gameplay environment, which I think is Nintendo really kind of a natural evolution of what they did with the new Super Mario Brothers games, where they've constantly been trying to find new ways to make 2D interesting. And this seems like they've really taken advantage of it.
Yeah, it looked like there was like a warp flower thing that would like
Change the whole world.
it would like
Pipes start
change the
appearing
level.
and-
Yeah, it's like you're still on the same level, but it's just now like the upside down.
Yeah, yeah. The upside down or a dark world or
You can do
know.
anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's and then of course that elephant power up. Mario gets like 4 times the size, but still it's still like a good size for that environment. It's not like the
Right.
giant flower where he becomes like super huge. you know?
like so much that it's not functional.
Yeah. I'm super interested, super on
Yes.
board for this.
Same.
Coming out October 20th of this year.
Whenever you get it, you got to come let me play it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll bring the Switch over.
Movies?
Yeah, dude. We were talking a little bit about the internet, and one thing we did not that I did not use the internet for was to make good money on the GameStop stock hustle. I don't know what the fuck you even call it.
The squeeze? The big squeeze?
Yeah.
Jacob, you said you did.
I did. I was following all this on TikTok and just more of it was interesting. I was like, "Man, this is crazy. These guys are completely turning it upside down." And I had the Robinhood app.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I was just, everyone was like, "You can buy now, buy now, buy now." I was like, I'll
Well,
buy.
why not?
I'll buy a few. I bought like 11 stocks or something.
Nice.
Nothing
Do
crazy.
you remember how much it was by any chance that you put in?
I bought in, I think, at like 57 cents.
Oh wow.
So 50 times 11. So wow, we're talking about $20.
Yeah,
I heard 10
So
bucks.
it-
$10.
It wasn't that much.
No, $5, right? 11
Right, yeah.
shares.
Yeah, no,
So
you're right.
that,
It'd be
that was the
$5, yeah.
initial investment. So I was just like, I'll just do.
We're bad at math.
Yeah.
Fucking so bad. You don't even understand.
You said $11. I'm like, yeah. You're like $10. Yeah.
Yeah,
also
$5
probably.
sure, still.
It's like 20, $30.
Everything. We but anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I bought that and I was just kind of watching it and just every day it would like triple. And so I was like, I'm going to put in some more. So
Yeah.
I put in $20 more. And it just kind of just kept going. I'm like, oh my God.
yeah.
Like kind of they were doing in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, we're rich. I wasn't rich. I put in like not even $50 total.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting like $450 out of it.
See, that's
That's
cool.
a pretty good turnaround.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, I pulled out right. It looked like it was gonna just collapse.
Yeah.
It was as big as it was
Oh,
gonna
man.
get.
Yeah.
and you just kind of feel it. And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and pull out.
Yeah.
and I did.
See, that's my thing, man. I don't gamble. I'm not like it doesn't. I get too anxious for it to be fun. You know what I mean? Like I'm
I'm the
a
same
ball
way.
of nerve. I'm like I don't want to. I'm throwing money in the trash can.
Yeah. I've really tried to like adopt a mentality with anything like this of
The
just
house
being,
always wins.
Well, of being secure in my choice. You
To
know?
not do it?
No, in
Oh, sorry.
whatever step I take.
Fair.
So that way, like, there's so much of that was out of your control,
Yeah.
Jacob.
I
And
see.
You pulled out when you pulled out, and even if it got higher, if it immediately collapsed, or if it had already collapsed a little bit, and maybe you the day before you would have had twice that or something, you got to just be like, you know what? I played a game. I walked out. This is what I walked out with. It's still a heck of a lot better than what I walked in with, and you can't worry about the what ifs. You just got to be like, I made my choice. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Like watching this trailer, I had this big sense of like, oh man, I got to download that Robinhood app and I got to find that next stock. I was like, no, dude, you made your choice. When it happened, you were just like, yeah, I'm not savvy.
Yeah.
I'm not gutsy and I don't have the extra cash.
And that's not about to happen again.
And I made my choice.
Yeah.
So gotta be secure in that. So I am, and I think that's the thing. And whether you do it and do well, you do kind of well, you do it, you lose, or you just sit this round out. Just be like, all right, man, there might be another game one day, and maybe I'll play that one.
Yep.
Live to play another day.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it.
Yep.
Still gonna download that app though.
I have
Didn't
it.
they like?
Did you do much with it before that?
No,
Yeah.
I think I got it I originally downloaded it whenever I heard about this thing called Bitcoin in 2014. And somebody was
Sure.
like, hey, what's this? You
Another
should buy
one.
these. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they all of a sudden put like a limit on what you could do or not do on that app because of what? Yeah,
Yeah, it throttled you hard. Like after all of this,
Yeah.
it like the whole app shut down for a while, and you
That's what I
couldn't.
thought.
You couldn't invest. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
it completely locked up, and that's just like they were like, Wall Street played dirty.
Yeah.
It's like that's what they did.
And
yeah,
that's-
that was. I don't know if there's actual on the books laws against what happened by doing that.
Yeah.
but it should fucking be illegal.
Well, what I really like about the trailer, and hopefully, this part is kept in the movie, is they talk about how the system is not built for the little guy.
Exactly.
And that is and whatever laws are on the books, that's a message that needs to continually be shouted.
Yes.
Because the only way that will eventually change is for us to collectively understand that.
Yeah.
And where steps have been taken over the last 30 plus years to lock out people who the elite didn't want to be a part of the plan, And I'm not talking about fucking Tom Hanks, I'm talking about real money and power.
Yeah, your Bransons, your Bezoses, your Musks.
Exactly. You know what? And the big time stock traders that I don't even know about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, those guys too. Yeah.
And politicians who've had their hand both in the legislation game and fucking financial game.
Well, let's be real. Most of those politicians are the ones keeping the regulations from, having this system work for the little guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're keeping those regulations in place, making sure the system only works for them.
Yeah.
One thing that sucks about it is that I know for me personally, I don't ask for much.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, I want to be able to get food for my kids. I want to have some space that's ours. And I want to not be constantly stressed out every single day about all the weight and the pressures that are on us as people. And it's like, we don't care. I don't want a yacht. I don't want some mega mansion. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just want the simplicity without the baggage that comes with it. And I think it's not I don't think it's crazy for us to want that.
Yeah,
and
no.
to fight for that. And that's what this thing is showing. It's like, hey, we're smart.
Yep.
We're capable. We have resources now.
We're worthy.
We're worthy. We can go in there and do it. And it was really cool to kind of to see it now and be like, hey, I was a part of that.
Yeah,
in just a small way, you know.
Sure.
You know, but to also know like, hey, like I was part of that, kind of
Fucking
sticking
A.
it to you. So
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah, so it's real frustrating because me and my wife talk about a lot about just the things we want out of life are so simple.
Yeah.
And they seem so fucking far away.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like, you know, just look, it's like things right there. We just want to have this and have that, and it's right there, but we can't get it.
Yeah, I was having a very similar conversation where I was like, you know, because I'm trying to transition into a different career, and you know, I was talking about how my desire to make more money was not to be in a bigger house and fancier car, but it was that, like, you know, I don't want to have the stress of our bills and blah blah blah, but I also I do have some wants, and those are little things. Like, I want to be able to be like, you know what? I want a new tattoo and not have to figure out how I'm going to, you know, budget for it or save for it. Or, you know, I want to be able to be like, you know what? I can go out and blow $500 on a tattoo today and not feel a big burden or a big stress or an, you know, $500 for most American families, an unexpected payment of $500 for most American families is hard to overcome.
Yeah.
And that is criminal.
And there's two really important things in that sentence to focus on. One was stated out loud: most, the majority.
Most, yeah, exactly.
The majority of families, a $500 expense popping up is going to be a challenge. And the other thing that was unspoken there is that we have reached also a point in our economy where $500 is not a lot of money.
Right.
The latest video game system costs $500.
Right.
Typically right off the fucking rack.
Yeah.
You know? And so we've reached a point where the poverty situation has not improved and has honestly probably gotten worse.
Correct.
But the general sense of worth has gotten higher.
Yep.
Creating so in a situation where even stagnation on its own level was a loss, you know, which is amazingly challenging. Which is why these calls for whether it's just I want to be able to put food on the table without having to lose sleep at night over how it's going to happen, or I want simple but, you know, slightly extravagant expenses to not be a fucking problem.
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
I would love to be able to go fucking buy a PS5 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mom
But
and
I'm
I-
not balling that way.
Yeah.
I don't have that option.
Yeah, and it's why these calls are getting so much louder. Is because more and more people are like, I've had enough.
So if you're out there and you're hearing us talk about how we don't have PS5 money,
Yeah,
sponsor our program.
yeah. We'd love to do an advertisement for your business.
I'll do it. I'll do a sweet ad for you.
Yeah, did you hear those dulcet tones? You could have that working for
They're
you.
dulcet.
Yeah, you hear those dulce de leche tones?
Ooh, yum.
It's a good fucking flavor, man. That's
It really is. I like the ice cream a lot. Speaking of, we went to Becky and I have been to Cherry Berry twice in the last week.
I don't know what that is. Sounds like a sex club.
Cherry Berry is where they have the different flavored froyos. Like
okay.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds fun,
And
too.
then you go and you put
toppings,
all the
yeah.
different toppings on them. They've got like all the candy toppings, and they got like fresh fruits, and so fucking good. They had a salted caramel pretzel that I got. It was really good. There was a cheesecake that was super dope.
That's redundant.
Anyway, Cherry Berry, sponsor our program,
Yeah.
and you can pay me in product.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. I know, like I hear of some sponsors where like it's not a monetary thing, but they give you their products for free. And there's several where I'm like, oh, I would hella do that for just, you know what I mean? I'm like, give me a fucking free like kick-ass mattress or you know, some froyo. Anyways, we need to talk briefly about how amazing the cast of Dumb Money looks.
Oh God, yeah. With
We got Paul Dano in the lead.
Lead Paul Dano.
yeah.
He's getting to be.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's so good.
He gets a lot of attention lately.
The
It's all
movie he
positive.
did where he played Brian Wilson did not get as much. It kind of like flew under the radar. It wasn't really successful, but his performance in that movie was incredible. Like I like John Cusack a lot, but I think he kicked John Cusack's ass as far as performance in that film. I think it was so much better.
Okay.
Have you seen it? I forget what it's called, but it's the film where John Cusack's playing the older version of Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, and Paul Dano's playing the younger version.
I've seen some clips from it, but
I thought it was a good movie.
Love and
Mercy.
Love and Mercy.
But it wasn't like it didn't really get a lot of good reception. It was kind of panned as like being okay or whatever. But his performance in it was incredible. And that was one of the first times where I was really like, okay, this Dano kid, he's got some range. He's got some potential. He can do some shit. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he is excellent.
But him in the Batman was incredible.
He was one of the best parts of the Batman. I did not love that movie, even as like a massive comic book guy. But he was just, his version of Riddler was compelling.
Yeah, you know what I didn't
really
like
good.
about the Batman?
The Batman mostly.
But the
Boring ass Batman.
It was how corny the play up of the detective part of it was. Like the clues and everything were so fucking in your face and on the nose, right? Like I was like, hey, look,
it was bad.
I am one of those people where I miss a lot of nuance sometimes in movies.
Sure.
But I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And that was one where I'm like, they're like, okay, you're obviously a fucking idiot, so here you go.
it's like staring at everything.
Yes.
So my problem with that film is like, it's coming from a different perspective. You have the fight scenes in the dark, awesome, pure Batman, and then the moments where he shows up on scene,
Crime scenes,
and he's just there, and then at that point, he's literally just a dude in a suit. Just the awkward looks the cops give him, and how he's just there sitting on Batman, but he's staring at something. And he stares at it again. He shows a thing. Shows him. Shows a thing closer.
Yeah.
Shows him closer. It's like, okay, yeah, we know he's staring at that.
It
like
was like they wanted. It was like they wanted the good parts of Seven, right, and that style of detective.
Yeah.
But they really, 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 really didn't. They really missed.
It's the whole.
But Colin
contact
Farrell
lens.
was kick ass. I also thought Colin Farrell was really good as the Penguin. Which is why I understand why he's getting a spin-off show.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paul Dano was fucking incredible.
They did that thing though where they would do like establishing style shots, but they would do it 2 or 3 times longer than was necessary.
Oh, the Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, they did the same thing when they first introduced the Batmobile, where it's like it
A 45-second pan shot, yeah.
and they show Penguin and he's concerned, and it powers up more, and the engines start roaring, and they show Penguin and he's really concerned.
Oh.
And now the fire's coming out, and it's powering up even more, and he's real fucking concerned. It's like, guys, it's. You can stop crime faster.
Yeah.
That movie could have been like 90 minutes. It would have been great.
It might have been. Also, like the thing, I think you hit the nail on the head for what was bugging me about those scenes of him working with the cops. Is it was always just him standing around, or having very basic, awkward interactions.
He's too well lit.
And he was
weird.
always, like you said, he was always getting it, but with just looks.
Yeah.
Like, I just looked around and now I've solved it. I've solved it.
Kneel down by it. Pull a thing out of your belt. Use a compound I don't understand that you made in the lab with Alfred.
Talk to the other cops.
Yeah,
Don't
ask
just
questions.
ignore them.
Yeah, there's never like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Even that's pretty on the fucking nose.
That was a solid Batman. Like,
Thank you.
You should add that to your report.
To my character reel?
Exactly. Yeah. DC, if you're looking for a new Batman,
I've seen this before.
Get Diedrich Bader back, 'cause he
Clayface.
was excellent. But if he's not available, get Mike.
Please get me. Anyways,
But yeah,
okay, who else we got? We got Paul Dano, we got Nick
Seth
Offerman, we
Rogen,
got
we
Seth Rogen, we got
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio, another motherfucker who can just completely change.
He looks so different. I didn't even recognize him.
He always manages to do that while not really looking very different, right? Like him visually, him here versus him in like The Punisher, no difference really, except for they tried to make him look a little bigger, right? But as far as his face and his hair, exactly the same. But just his voice and delivery, and it makes him look like a different person.
Oh yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, he's been really good at that. I'm going to pull up that scene right here where I think he's coming up right here.
Mm-hmm. I love the matching wristbands and headband.
Paul Dano's so young too. That's the other thing I always forget. Oh, I forgot the hodl. The HODL instead of hold the line, it was hodl the line for a minute. Did I miss it? Maybe I missed it. Maybe it was the beginning of the trailer. I love the trailers. All right, fuck it, I can't find it. But here's the cast. Like
Here we go.
Said.
Pete
Davidson, yeah. America Ferrera was a fun surprise.
Anthony Ramos, Sebastian Stan, Shailene Woodley.
Really cool. Great
Yeah.
cast. Very. I'm definitely down for it. It's got and
It looks good.
it's got a what's the other the Big Squeeze, the Big Short.
The Big Short.
It reminds.
Yeah.
It's got a Big Short feel to it.
Who's-
That I
who's
enjoy.
But it's not
directing
Adam McKay. This one was Zach. No,
Craig Gillespie.
Where is it? Right there, Craig Gillespie.
Craig Gillespie.
Yeah, who? That's not a name I recognize. You guys,
Me
you
either.
guys heard of him? No.
I remember seeing it in the thing, but I don't. Let's see.
He's a good looking dude. What else has he done?
Mr. Woodcock.
A Fright
I,
Night,
Tanya.
2011? What?
Okay. Did you see I, Tanya?
No, I wanted to, but I never did.
It's good.
Didn't that have C.J. Craig from West Wing in it?
Did it?
Allison Janney? It did have Allison Janney.
Oh, Allison
I love
Janney.
her.
She is amazing. Yeah, she played her mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man. All right, this
That's
looks
worth
good,
a
though.
watch. That's worth a watch. I, Tanya. Yeah. Margot Robbie's another one that's really surprised me with
Yeah.
how
Yeah, she's really good.
how
She's
much
really
she's
versatile.
exactly
Yeah.
how much she's able to change. She's not a one trick pony, so to speak.
Yeah, she's been one of the rumored, and now I think it's been shut down. But she was rumored to be Sue Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, and I was
That
on
would be
board
great.
with that.
Yeah,
I just,
hella on board for that.
she's so good at everything that fuck it. You know, she's not exactly who I'd pick, but I'm totally on board.
Yeah.
I'd give it to her. But
She
I
would
think
do
she's
the
on.
character well. That's the thing is now we know that she can she like we said she can change so much
Yeah.
that she would be able to play that character pretty well, and you would be able to sort of lose that it's Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's my thing with superheroes and certain celebrities playing them is sometimes it's hard to forget like, oh, that's so and so.
Exactly.
You know.
and that's my thing. Like the rumored Reed Richards continues to be Adam Driver, and I'm not as on board for that.
No.
because I feel like he's too.
No, I don't want that at
He's
all.
too standout. He looks. I
No, he's
can't see
not.
it.
Nope.
I don't know.
Could just see him going.
Where are you gonna be? Looks
Getting
like-
onto Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Johnny can't do that. Like just real his way he enunciates and it
Yeah.
just doesn't flow.
It doesn't.
And I don't dislike Adam Driver
I
at
don't either.
all.
No. He's
It's not
great.
for that character.
I fell in love with him after his SNL episode.
Yeah.
That was so goddamn funny.
For all its flaws, I love him as Kylo Ren in,
Yeah.
in the Star Wars sequels. I think
Fair.
he's so good in that role.
He actually is really, yeah, you're right.
It's one of the best parts about those movies.
I never saw the movie where he yells at the lady and punches the wall.
No, the one that became the meme.
Yeah.
Our marriage,
The
or whatever.
domestic, the
Marriage
domestic
story.
violence.
Yeah,
Story,
marriage
that's what
story.
it was.
Yeah,
The precursor to domestic violence.
I know.
movie.
Saw that and I'm like, I know where this is going.
Yeah. Sit down, Chad.
Yeah.
That was me in my early 20s. I've come a long way to not be that motherfucker.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
Growth. Weird. Okay, we also watched One Piece.
Yeah, so-
which I thought was going to be about bathing suits.
Yeah, it was not. It was not about One Piece. I think the sequel, Two Piece, maybe. But
Now that because when I heard it, I was like, "Great! I can't wait to not watch One Piece so I can watch Two Piece when it comes out."
yeah.
Just kidding. That was gross. But no, this is a based on a manga.
Yeah, manga and anime, and it's it's one of the oldest running animes of all time.
Here is what I didn't expect when you told me it was based on an anime.
That the trailer was going to be live action.
No,
Yeah.
not that. But yes, also I didn't know that. But the thing that I was more surprised by,
Yeah,
pirates.
pirates. It's pirate themed. It's about
When you say the word anime, my brain in a million years would not have jumped to pirates.
well, and that's
Right?
That's an easy misconception because. Even as much as anime has proliferated American culture and American animation, it's still, since it has such strong ties to Japan,
Right.
It's easy to forget that
it
anime
can take place elsewhere.
it describes a style,
Yeah.
not a
Location.
A location, exactly. So,
Yeah.
or I guess a style based in a location, but not that
Sure.
the topics of the stories are going to be based there.
Yeah,
So yeah,
or that they're always going to be located there. They can take place elsewhere.
and it's funny too because obviously we know that plenty of anime takes place in like space. So off planet was never a question, but on Earth
That was easier to for some reason.
you assume it's going to be
that's easier
it's
to
a weird
accept.
So, but also,
Weird.
of course, you think of pirates. You think of it being just a fascination that we've had here in America.
Yeah.
So
I don't expect an anime character to be like, shiver me timbers.
the love of piratery is a universal concept. It brings us together as a people.
Avast ye mateys, I have downloaded failure to launch.
So, One Piece, though incredibly popular, the anime series has more than 1,000 episodes. It's one of the longest running
I
animes.
was just looking at that. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness.
That's a lot of episodes.
And it is beloved, and I've never seen it. Although
That's what
it's
we
been
do
on
in
my
the Shadows
periphery.
level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Wasn't that was the show we looked up that had like a million episodes?
The original
Yeah.
1950s what's the word
Sitcom.
for it? Not sitcom, soap opera.
Soap opera.
Soap opera.
Soap opera.
Soap opera.
Sub
Stories.
Pop. It was on Sub Pop Records. That's what it was.
Yeah, sub pop soap opera.
Yeah. Wow. 1,000 episodes.
But-
over how many years did it say?
Looks like it started
99.
Wow. Oh, yeah, only in 99. So crazy.
So 24 years.
Yeah. Oh, well, the first season had 61 episodes. Amazing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like a season
There's a
17.
couple of 118 on 17 and then
most
109 174.
The most recent season has 174 episodes.
How?
Hard work and probably child labor. Let's be honest. No, I don't.
Oh
know
no, I'm calling the police.
that. no. Just because of the workload. No.
Hi, police. Yeah, can you go get One Piece?
Oh wow, there's been several movies as well. Like 15 of them,
15 movies.
and television specials. Wow, man. And so you guys, had you heard of it?
Never.
Nothing at
No.
all.
no,
Never heard of it.
No base of reference at all.
But good for them.
Yeah.
No
Good
shit.
for them.
And now I want to know, what did you guys think of the trailer? Because it's kind of a
Honestly-
teaser, but it introduced a lot of the concepts in the cast, the concept, the idea of the little straw hat kid wanting to be a pirate.
Yeah.
What'd y'all think?
It's interesting.
That was a big thing that caught my eye. I was like, there's nothing here that I wasn't kind of curious about.
Yeah.
Like,
I found it a little bit corny. It felt a little bit corny, like the jokes about like all fighters call out their finishing moves.
yeah.
Like that part felt a little bit corny,
yeah.
but it was forgivable.
And it very much felt in the
You know? Yeah, I was like, that's fine.
right, like that to me.
You corny, but
That
all right.
and I guess he had maybe he's got stretchy powers. He definitely had.
Oh, yeah, he said,
his arm kind of went the way out there. and then
what did he say? Gum gum?
gum.
And
Yeah. And that to me, that felt very fan service. Like, I don't know shit about it, but I would not be surprised if that's like his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm wondering, like, okay, maybe does gum gum mean something in a different language
hope
that
not.
makes it make sense? Otherwise, it is a little bit sort of nonsensical.
Just nonsense,
like,
yeah.
gum gum. And then he said something else, and it made his fist come back and punch that dude. Gamu gamu. Oh, the gum gum fruit.
Yeah, it looks like that's something that they can eat that
It
turns their body
turns
into
the
rubber.
user's body into rubber.
Right now, all the One Piece fans are just
It turns
mocking
my
us.
body into
I know.
rubber, and then it turns your body into glue, and whatever you say, bounce off me, sticks on you.
That's the ancient texts. Yeah,
This is the way.
So says the prophecy.
so let it be written. My big thing was
The gum gum prophecy.
I am curious to learn more about One Piece now. Like
Okay.
whether I watch a little of the anime or just watch
I
this.
was gonna say I'm more interested in learning about the source material now than I am intrigued by the trailer.
Yeah, but the trailer looks fun. The cast looks like they're really. I mean, it was colorful. It looked well done. Like
Yeah,
it
was definitely colorful. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm like, give me bright colors, give me neon.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, this is engaging enough to keep my attention.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
man. All right, so One Piece.
One Piece.
I guess that's all I got on that.
Does it say anything about why One Piece? Does that have
Why
why it's called One Piece? What reference is that?
he likes to wear the full bathing suit when he swims? No, I don't know.
No, I'm so curious though, because it's something that like maybe maybe it comes from, because you know how like, okay, for example, Die Hard when it's that translated into other movies, it's like Super Jumpman or some shit. So it could be that in another language it makes complete sense, but in English it's One Piece.
According to Google, before the series starts, the first ever pirate king, a hottie named Gold D. Roger.
Oh shit, a hottie. Yeah.
Good to know. Discovered a fabulous treasure, because he's a hottie, treasure on an island at the end of the Grand Line, a massive patch of ocean that circles the equator. He called this treasure the One Piece. It is said it is so incredible, he laughed with joy when he saw yada, yada, yada. Okay. So it's the treasure they seek, I'm guessing.
Okay.
And there's you can see even there's our hero in his comic form with his straw hat. That's a thing.
Is he crying there? What's going on around his mouth area?
Right. Could that be joy or terror?
It's a gape.
I don't read enough manga to know.
He's gaping for you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's why I don't read the manga.
Okay. Hilton, you're a pervert. Why'd you show me that?
I'd like to be very clear. My perversions have nothing to do with anything like this.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why, but I was like, I've always thought like, I don't know if I could come to a cartoon.
No, yeah, I've never. That's a weird world. I mean, not to yuck anyone's yum, but
it's like it's a
as long as
world
it's between
that
you
feels,
and the animator.
It's a world that feels weird to be horny in.
Right? Yeah. I remember in college the first time that I learned about the tentacle porn with
I know
the
that
anime that's like cartoon tentacles.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm like, man, that's what ality
I'm not
is
mad
that?
at you if you like that, but
No, again,
it's a little yucky for me.
Like between whatever happens
know
between
about
you
that?
and your DVD player.
Do you know about this? Yeah. You heard about this? You heard about this? You heard about this tentacle porn?
You can't get on the internet for any length of time without
tentacles.
I mean, I'm aware of a lot of weird stuff out there, Michael. Like,
Internet's gross.
Big place, lot of
big place, a lot of porn.
A lot of porn.
Yeah. Big place, big. What is it? Little people, big world, big world, lot of porn.
Big world, lot of smells. Yeah.
Little Big World. Is that the video game?
Little Big World.
Little
Big Planet.
Little Big Planet.
Little Big Planet.
Little Big
planet.
Porn.
Little Big Porn.
All right. Moving on. What else do we have today, Hilton?
Nothing. That's it. We're done. Good show.
Bye.
We gave it a try. What else?
I mean, I suppose we could pick it and plug it.
Actually, we'll talk about this one just because it's funny because it kind of talks about stocks. The headline is Nintendo shareholder meeting disrupted by fan who spent $3.5 thousand to complain about Splatoon. So check this out. The alleged incident was first reported by Twitter. According to the translation of the Biba Play, a Splatoon 3 fan asked why boys were being disrespected in the game.
Oh, barf.
Furukawa,
sorry, I can see where this is going.
Nintendo President Furukawa said the question was going on too long. The fan kept going, and eventually the president moved on by thanking him for his interest in playing the company's games.
The classic corporate answer of I'm telling you to shut the fuck up, but in a way that says I still want your money.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your interest in our company's games. We're gonna move on now. Next question. Thank you, sir. You in the front row. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your interest in our company's games.
So he was a shareholder. Like he's a gamer who bought enough shares so that he could have a chance to talk at the shareholder meeting.
Yeah, well, they let him talk.
It's another thing, you
they didn't say for how long.
Yeah.
3.5 thousand shares.
I was going to say $3,500 in the corporate world gets you about 4 minutes.
Yeah, if even that,
If that, yeah, you're right.
And then the president effectively says, "Thanks for your opinion."
Yeah. Thank you for your interest in playing our company's games.
Yeah.
He just says, "We're Nintendo.
We're Nintendo. Fuck off."
Yeah. Also, that's not how anything works. The shareholders meeting is not where you would make a design choice.
Now, my question is, does it say anything about why this person felt that boys were being disrespected in the game?
Here he says, I've sent letters to Nintendo many times, but he didn't seem to improve. When I bought stocks, I was always short of tens of thousands of dollars, and my parents asked me not to get involved in consumer finance. No, he said... Here we go. He said how he managed to... he shared an apparent mock-up
because
showing how
there
male
was-
Inklings customization options were lacking compared to the female ones.
Because there was one game where there was more female options than male
Oh,
options.
he's strictly talking about Splatoon. Yeah.
So every other game where it's 98% male dominated.
Well, he doesn't
Not
play
okay.
those games.
Yeah, it's-
I mean,
He's fine with those games.
He's
a
like, no,
Splatoon
they
player.
need to all be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, equality for Splatoon, for Inklings.
That's not equality, though.
Ink kids. I don't know what they call them. Squid kids. There you go.
Whatever.
Let's see. Outrageous as it is someone who would grind for real world cash just so he could complain in person about a video game. Especially weird given that Splatoon 3 has the most robust Inkling customization options in the whole series. It's the first to let players mix and match various looks and styles rather than locking certain ones behind specific genders.
That's what it is. He doesn't like the gender fluidity.
Probably. I don't know. Here's the biggest
He's
thing.
like, my beef is there is not a character with a big honkin' visible dong.
Really, I played a little bit of the first Splatoon, and I'm not gonna lie.
Chock full of dicks.
Notice the first thing. Notice the same thing. Not enough exposed cock in Splatoon 1. Surprisingly few dongs. Really weird. Really weird.
Surprisingly little male frontal nudity.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Yeah. No naked squids as far as the eye can see.
I can see his digital digits.
It's weird. I don't know. Weird cartoon game. It's a fun game though. Little battle royale. Yeah. It's like a capture the flag, but it's like a paint everything instead. You spray paint everything, and you hit a certain percentage of the board, and you've taken over in capture the flag style. Actually, maybe that's not really the right metaphor. I don't play games against other people, so I don't know what anything's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's me against the computer, baby, all day.
It's like football, only
Me and the machine.
You're sitting on a couch. Does that make sense? No.
Yeah, it does. I know that. I know that. Madden, right? You're a big Madden guy.
Tecmo Bowl was my jam.
Tecmo Bowl?
Yeah, original Tecmo Bowl. I still play that on the classic. And pick some plugs,
Let's do it.
man. I don't know. You want to go first this week? I don't know if I got one ready.
As far as plugs, of course, Maximum News will be back as soon as we are able to. TJ's been in a little bit of a job transition, so we're letting them take their time to work through that and get all situated and such. But of course, just tune into everything on olaministries.com and keep supporting everything we're doing here at the network. And hit me up at zampinoproductions@gmail.com if you have any work, any voiceover work, any digital work, any production. Hit me up. I might be able to help you out. And then as far as picks, last week, the night of the storm that destroyed Tulsa's power, Becky and I had been gifted tickets to go to the Tulsa Theater and see Oklahoma's own The Flaming Lips. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots.
That's a great album.
Which is an amazing album. My second favorite Flaming Lips album.
Great record.
My second favorite after the Soft Bulletin. I was looking on Spotify. Do You Realize? Which is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life. Has over 80 million plays on Spotify.
Well, was the state song of Oklahoma at one point, wasn't it?
Might have been.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went to that show, and then the storm happened, and then we just got back in our house like 2 days ago. But because of that album has been kind of stuck in my head all week long, and I've been revisiting it a lot. And it's just really good all the way through. If you've never like delved into a Flaming Lips album, especially the lyrics are sometimes overlooked, and he's a very good lyricist in that he says a lot of really good things that are often very simplistic in their word usage. He's not using a lot of like deep metaphors. It's kind of on the surface of, you know what I mean? Like the idea, the lyrics in Do You Realize?
Oh, yeah.
It's very much on the nose. And it's incredibly beautiful, and it's incredibly moving.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
Great
album.
album.
Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots by the Flaming Lips. And then if you really like that one, follow it up with the Soft Bulletin.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Jacob? Any picks or plugs?
Oh man,
You can also tell people where to follow you on socials if you should choose to be followed.
yeah, you can follow me, Jacob Campos, Jacob W Campos, kind of across the board. Man, I've got some stuff upcoming. Some one thing I haven't talked about, and it's almost been a year since we filmed it.
Okay.
I'm a gigantic Wolverine fan.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
And the novels, the everything comics, I love the storyline. So last year I was like, you know what? I'd been really listening to a lot of the novels on Audible, 50 plus hours of Wolverine straight novels. So I kind of understood the character a little bit. I was like, you know what? Like, Hugh Jackman ain't going to be around forever.
Someone's going to have to take
Someone's got to do this. And so I got together with some friends of mine and we did a concept.
Hell yeah.
And we filmed it. And it was a ton of fun, but it was also like, it's in post right now. It's been in post forever, but it's because we're just trying to fix some audio issues. But other than that, it's something that's just like, I originally did it was like, oh, I'm going to pitch it to Marvel. We're going to do this and do that. And now it's just like, that's just a fun day that I have with my friends.
Yeah.
Like we went out to this proproperty and, you know, I'm like a grown man, be like, you know what, I'm going to be Wolverine today. And
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
so kind of went into the whole like
Yeah.
grunt voice, and it was fun, man.
What are you looking at, bub?
yeah.
I have one line in the whole thing, and my wife will say it just randomly, and it's taken all the power out of it.
Okay.
So the line the line is like, it's this girl, she's running away from these guys. She busts into this was an airplane hangar.
Okay.
We were able to have access to an airplane hangar, and we had a little airplane in there, and she busts in and she's like, I know you're in here. And I'm leaning against this airplane, smoking a cigar. You just kind of see the silhouette. And I said, I missed the part where that's my problem. and so she's like, you got to help me. And he says all that or whatever. And that's just the one line in the whole thing.
That's so great.
And we'll just be around at the house, and she'll be like, I missed the part where that's my problem. Or she'll just like, oh my
You're
God.
like, can we get another read on that, honey?
I know, I'm like,
let's get another read. Let's get a little bit more. Let's get a little bit more aggression. Maybe.
I know.
Maybe
That's
you're kind of
amazing.
mad, like you're not like inquisitive.
You took the air out of it. No,
That's so funny.
And so I originally was like, I'm going to change that line now. She's like, no, don't change it. So I tried to, and it didn't work. And the audio guy's like, no, you have to stick with this. I'm like, oh, no.
Also, man, like, you know, like,
That's a just good classic Wolverine line.
it's a classic Wolverine line, and Wolverine having someone, whether it's Kitty or Jubilee or Storm or someone who he's been partnered with in the past as a friend, a mentor, whatever, saying it back to him to kind of suck the punch out of it. That's a very Wolverine moment. I kind of love
You got to
that.
eat it, and you got to eat it, and you're just like,
Yeah, you know, and I mean, Wolverine is eternally a badass. I mean, he's the best he is at what he does, and because of that, any character can have a jab at him, and you get to have that fun moment, but it doesn't change the fact that he can still fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I kind of love that happened behind the scenes for you guys.
Yeah,
That's
it's fun.
kind of awesome.
It's funny. It's just part of it. And where I go into there that day, and I've been tweaking the script, and it was like, it becomes like more condensed to where it was mainly like, it comes right in. It's an action scene. They're running through the woods. There's no context. You just run right in.
Yeah,
And then he's in there waiting at the airplane.
man.
And then, they bust in there, and then you have the scene. He does his thing, and then that's it.
Sounds awesome.
It's just a quick little like, what was that? It's a couple minutes long, but that was fun. I haven't really got to talk about that yet. But
That's fun.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I'll have to send you the rough cut and let you guys see it. But
Yeah, and if there's once you get to a point where there's a version that you're happy for the public to see, we'd love to throw a link up on the
yeah,
site.
oh, yeah, of course,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'll throw as soon as that. I'm just ready to have it out now.
I bet.
You know, it's all the people that worked on it. It was it was a passion project to where we didn't have a budget for this. So everybody that came on was just doing it because they
On their
wanted to
own
be a part of
dime.
it.
Yeah, I love that.
And
That's
I was
great.
able, I had a lot of friends that came in and they brought in their gear, they brought in everything, and it was like a legit shoot. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I love you guys.
Hell yeah,
This is
that's
a lot
awesome.
of fun. This is a lot of fun.
I love hearing that.
But-
What about a pick? Any picks?
Oh man.
What have you been into lately? Been watching anything good?
Man, I have been so stinking busy.
Yeah.
Wife just had surgery, so we've been in recovery mode for that.
Okay.
So I've been taking care of the kids and doing all of that. Man, I've really gotten into gardening.
Okay.
So I'm kind of in that mode where
that's a different pick, but we'll take it.
Yeah. So I'm more of like trying to set down the screens a little more.
Okay.
And just because
get out.
Yeah, I'm in that. My kids are I have a 2-year-old, 2 7-year-olds, and a 13-year-old. They're all boys. They're all insane, but they need that constant interaction with me.
Right.
They need to constantly be like, let's do this. Let's do this. They all want to work on their own separate projects, and they all want me to be there. So I'm intentionally being there. And so we're spending a lot of more time outside. I'm like, well, if I'm just sitting here just watching them play. I was like, I'll mess with this little garden we have here. Last year we threw a bunch of old crushed up pumpkins in there and threw some of the old rotten leaves after the fall and just kind of let it, compost there. And we have this massive, we're gonna have our own pumpkin patch. It's huge.
What?
Yeah. So I've been kind of geeking in on that. I made like this little primitive fence around it. It was like a little piece of chicken wire. I rolled around in some of the storm sticks. I've just kind of been shaving them down, making those the posts, making them all around.
That's awesome.
It's been a lot of fun, man.
We go raid that pumpkin patch, baby.
I'm really into like those videos on TikTok. Whenever my little boy is trying to wind down, we'll watch the survival shelters where they'll make them out of the trees and the logs, and they're using all primitive stuff, and
that's cool.
They just are like they're time lapse, so there's no audio. It's just like a little light song, and they're just building. Yeah, and it's just like I'm like, man, I want to do that.
Well, and I was going to ask if there was anywhere you were turning to answer any questions you had while you were gardening, or any of the challenges that popped up. But you kind of sounds like you're kind of getting inspiration from some of these kind of videos.
Yeah, it's more like I say primitive gardening, but it's more of like I'm just messing with it, figuring it out. I'm like, I know I can read all this stuff and properly learn and probably do it right, but it's more fun just kind of like
figure it out.
Yeah. It's like, hey, this is over
it sounds like I was going to say it sounds a little bit like you're just kind of trying to use what's around too,
and it's been great. So if we get a good pumpkin yield, I'll bring you guys a pumpkin.
Hell yeah, man!
I was going to say it's only a couple months till pumpkin season.
I know. Yeah. I mean, that's not all I have, but that's all I'm going to have in like great bulk. Maybe.
Oh, I get it. There's cool. a little.
What else are you growing though? Like what?
Marijuana. I'm just kidding.
I've got one tomatillo plant, and I've got 3 wild strawberries.
Ooh, cool. Nice.
And then just a bunch of like
herbs,
flowers.
Do any herbs or anything? Like any basil?
I'm not very good at those. That's like the low hanging.
Are they tricky? Yeah. Oh, I don't know anything about them.
I just don't. You can do microgreens and different stuff like that. I just haven't really gotten that far yet.
The only one I've ever really wanted to do is I've wanted to grow basil because I really like fresh basil.
Yeah.
But hasn't really.
It's pretty easy.
Is it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna look into it.
Maybe
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just grow some basil.
There you go. I did cherry tomatoes last year, and it was a bit of a challenge. I learned a lot.
You had a infestation almost.
I
right?
did. We had hornworms.
Yeah,
we had a tough
those
time with the
little
hornworms.
shitheads.
But I did get a small bounty at the end. I think
small
I got
harvest?
Small harvest, exactly.
As it were.
Yeah, I think maybe a dozen tomatoes, so which was not bad for my first year.
So you had 2 salads.
Exactly.
You didn't kill it.
Yeah.
You're still living.
Exactly.
So there you go.
If it produced something, exactly. That's
you did something right.
So that was cool. Nice.
That's an indicator.
I love it.
That's a plug little.
I love it.
Gardening thing.
Get back out in the gardens, guys.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
It's been good to see you. I think there's still, I don't know. I felt like there was still some like Greater Than Planes videos out there somewhere, but probably just on socials. I don't think that one we shot never really went anywhere, did it?
No, I saw some of the footage from that, and we were too dark.
We tried to shoot a video, and it didn't pan out.
Yeah.
As that sometimes happens.
That is definitely, I've definitely been a part of shoots that never went anywhere.
Yep.
Man. I got to tell you, one thing I've been watching, do quick pick and plug, was the Marvel's new Secret Invasion started this past week.
Oh, yes.
And not to
You know what's funny is I almost accidentally forgot you didn't do that yet because I'm so used to you going first. So apologies there.
I didn't notice. But yeah, that was the new show starring Samuel L. Jackson. It's got Ben Mendelsohn in it as well.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. What do you think?
I like it.
Okay.
First episode is definitely a little bit of a slow burn. I'm kind of surprised Marvel didn't release 2 or 3 episodes like they did for Hawkeye and some of the other shows.
Oh, the double episode premiere.
Yeah. But it's definitely it's been good. It kind of plays on the heels of some of the plot threads that were left after the Captain Marvel film. With
I remember
Brie
you
Larson and
saying
Sam
that
Jackson. Yeah.
maybe in the chat or something.
Yeah. And Mendelsohn was in that as well, and that's where they introduced the Skrulls and Talos.
That's the one. Okay.
And it's definitely I dig it. And Amelia Clarke of Game of Thrones fame is in it.
Will you remind me? Was that the post-credit scene where they introduced the Skrulls?
No, the Skrulls were in the main plot.
They
of
were in
Captain
the main
Marvel.
plot. Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
That you should rewatch Captain Marvel.
I
That's
need
another plot.
Yeah, I
Rewatch
need
Captain
to,
Marvel.
yeah.
So if you
Obviously.
if you hate gardening, if you're just like gardening is not for me.
If you're like me and you're
Marvel.
if you're what we would call indoorsy,
Yeah. Right. No. But or make time for both, damn it, I'm gonna. But yeah, that's what I got. And then of course, guys, I gotta push the Starlight Comedy Night, second Friday of every month. Come out and hang out with me and Lauren, the best comedians in all of the region. We do it every month, and we're so happy to be doing it again. I got 2 of the 3 to tell you about this month. We've got Tulsa's own Bradley McPherson, and so glad she is back on the stage. Casey Malone, super excited about having both of them at the show. And I've got one spot that is in negotiations, but I'll let you know more about that soon.
once contracts are finalized.
Yeah. And then, like Mike said, listen to the OLA Ministries Network. You want to hear me and Brian Sittler on the People Person Paper podcast talking about the hit NBC show The Office week after week after week. Zampino was on there just talking about the Michael dating Pan's mom.
Yeah, we did
arc.
we did the 3-episode arc of Michael dating Pam's mom, which of course total nightmare for Pam.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun. And
It was a lot of fun.
And then we've been interspersing those episodes because that arc is kind of spread throughout the season with some other episodes with Josh Bolts. Always fun to have Josh on the show as well.
It was an odd choice that they did. They literally put an episode in between the 3.
Each part of this, yeah.
It was the first one, and then it was Koi Pond.
It was Niagara, the lover, and then
the lover,
Double Date.
and
yeah.
then Double Date, and then
And you had Koi Pond, and Murder in there. Or no, excuse me, not Koi Pond and what was the other one? And not Murder. Because we're about to do Murder.
Double
Murder's
Date
next.
was the one.
There's
we just
another
did.
non-Pam's Mom episode. But that doesn't matter. But listen to the People Paper podcast. You're getting all that information and more.
It was the Mafia.
Mafia.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the worst one.
That's the why I'm
'cause
trying to
wanna
forget it.
That's
Yeah.
like the worst Office episode.
That's a rough
Mafia.
one.
That's a dumb one.
You want to hear some more wild stories that are not set in Scranton, Pennsylvania? Check out Stories with Mom, the show we do every week. Me and Brian Sittler sit down with my very own dear mother to hear the wild and weird stories she has growing up, and there is no shortage of them. I tell
She's
you,
probably got one in Scranton.
probably. She probably hung out with Joe Biden in his childhood days or some bullshit. The way
I can't wait till you find that out.
her stories always go like that. That's the funny thing.
How
is,
many
like,
times you're like, wait, I didn't know that.
you know, Mom was kind of in the right place at the right time for so many things. And I knew growing up that she had met famous people like Janis Joplin, like Frank Sinatra, like Yul Brynner. But the ones that I learned about just in doing the episodes of this show, like Mick Jagger, like Joe Namath, you know, there's so many random people that I'm like, you knew them? And she's like, oh yeah, I met them at this place at this time. And it is shocking the amount of randoms that she has to run into along
You're
the
still
way.
getting surprised too, right?
Still
By like
getting
stuff
surprised.
you didn't know.
The Joe Namath one has been the newest one. That was 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "How?" And you got to listen to the show.
Now Yul Brynner, famously gigantic cock, from what I is that the one, right?
Thank God she had no idea. She
Oh,
was
okay.
a
I
child
assumed
at the
that
time,
that's-
so that
she
was
met his cock first, and
No.
then
well. I mean, it was like the 40s in Mexico, the 50s in Mexico. So who the fuck knows?
yeah, there was a lot of free love.
That was at a resort. She was a child with her parents, and
Okay.
she would swim in the pool at the hotel. And at the suite that overlooked the pool is Frank Sinatra and Yul Brynner partying with friends. So
Wow,
and
that's
he's
wild.
shouting down at her and while she's in the pool.
Hey, you kid!
Yeah, that
I
kind
don't
of
remember
crap,
Yul
yeah.
Brynner's voice.
Yeah, that's a great Yul Brynner.
Thank
you
you.
did there.
I'll work on it.
None-
I'll have
none of our
it. I'll have it
listeners.
dialed in by next week.
Half of our listeners think I'm making that name up. So I'm not even worried about it.
It is an old pull. Yul
Yeah.
Brynner is definitely a real person.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm glad that you mentioned double episode premieres because it made me remember that I was gonna have 2 picks this week, and the other one not being music was the Righteous Gemstones season 3 premiered, and they did do a 2-episode premiere.
That's funny. I just rewatched the very first episode of that last night.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah. Great cast.
The major standouts of that show are I'm just blanked on her name, but she plays Judy, the sister, and then Tim Baltz, who plays her boyfriend / husband, BJ. So Tim, let's pull that. I really want to find her name real quick, if you don't mind.
Working on it, but
so it's Danny McBride. Have you seen any of the Righteous Gemstones?
Edie,
So it's
Edie Patterson.
Edie Patterson, thank you. So it's Danny McBride's show. It's Danny McBride style humor. I remember I was watching Vice Principals, and Becky was watching one of the episodes with me, and she's like, "I don't think I get this humor," and I described it to her, and I said, "Imagine that it's everything about being an adult and dealing with adult situations, but if every single character had the maturity level of a 14-year-old and the vocabulary of a 14-year-old. And then she was like, after that, I got it and I loved it. And I'm like, so if you go into it knowing that, it's so much fun. Yeah. It's really, really fun. It's very over the top. It's very fucking silly, but it's so goddamn good. And the entire cast is amazing. John Goodman, Adam Devine. It's just top to bottom. It's amazing. Walton Goggins, of course, playing Uncle Baby Billy, which his character is also one of the amazing standouts. But yeah, so that just premiered. So there'll be episode 3 will probably be out as you're listening to this or tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you so much again, Jacob, for coming by.
Yeah,
Don't forget, follow Jacob Campos on all of the social medias, or Jacob W. Campos.
There you go.
And follow me on the things. I am Childish Zampino. I also now have Zampino Productions Instagram. And follow Hilton on the things. And go to olaministries.com and
Every
listen
day.
to all of your favorite podcasts. Once a day, in the morning. Brush your teeth, say your prayers, go to olaministries.com.
While you're pooping.
Take it from me. I love you.